The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the October 27th, terrific Thursday edition of today's Trader's Edge show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. The easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. And more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Would love to hear from you at 877-927-6648. Now, if you can't call in, we've got you covered there, too. You can always send me an email. You send that to steve@tfnn.com. And inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tigers Den, well, any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on terrific Thursday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, we got a mixed bag out here. That mix coming from the NASDAQ 100, which is off 102. NASDAQ Composite down 72 points. Otherwise, the other U.S. indices are trading to the upside. Dow's up 380. S&P's up 4. Russell's up 19. Semis are up 5. Trannies are up 85. Gold is off $2.50. Silver's up 3 pennies. Light sweet crude up $1.50. Natural gas off 4 cents. The 30-year Treasury traded out at 122.09. That is up 26.30 seconds out there. Leading the charge dollar-wise today to the upside. You've got Service Now up nearly $50 or 13%. O'Reilly Automotive, $29. Can't pronounce this next one. Impinj, I guess I can. $21 or 26% to the upside. Ultra Industrial Motion Corp up 19 or 48%. Caterpillar up 9%, $17 and change. To the downside, it is Align Technology. They're out of line, down $17 or 17% or $38. West Pharmaceuticals off 12%, $31. FTI Consulting, 17%, $31. Meta. Facebook down $29. That's 22% move to the downside. Shockwave Medical off $26, sending a little shock there with a 9% move to the downside. So plenty to look at. Now I want to look at what you want to look at. Let's begin by taking a look at what's going on inside the equity markets if we can. So let's take a look at what's going on inside the NQ since that's trading lower. Let's change our screens out here. Let's get to the white background, the Ninja Trader charts, excuse me. And here we've got our 8-panel set of charts. Now, the daily time frame chart, I will form bar number 9 today if price closed above 11,358.50. Unfortunately, that would not be a TD9 count top. In order for that to occur, the high has to occur on bars 8, 9, or the bar following 9. So that would then suggest if we get it close above 11,358.50, we have a TD9 count. Maybe what it's signaling to us, so if a TD9 count top is going to form, maybe it'll be Apple that will drive at least a spike up above the high of bar number 7. That's what's going to be needed by tomorrow. Well, first you got to get today's close. You don't get a close above 11,358.50, then the pattern just simply will go away. But then if you do get that, you would need some spike above, this could take place in the post-market this evening. You would need a spike above 11,734. So those are the things that I would be watching for. If I look to the charts here, it is the hourly time frame. So the one that's below the daily, that's on your lower left, that does have the bottom signal. That bottom signal is a TD9 count. We were just talking about a TD9 count potential top on the daily time frame. We have a TD9 count bottom on the 60-minute time frame chart. It has taken hold, and price right now is trying to get back inside its profile. The bottom of that profile is 11,371. We're trading 11,372. We just began the hour. We don't end this hour for another 49 minutes or so, but a price can get above that, then get above its oscillator and change line. This is the 60-minute time frame chart. This is the play-by-play, 11,391. A price can get above that, then we're looking to move to 11,436. 11,484. Those are two levels where the next battles would be. And then the final battle would be at 11,515 and a quarter. Of course, if we close below the TD9 count bottom, that low out here, this on the hourly chart, is at 11,263.75. If we close below that, then price is probably headed back to the 11,107-ish area, 11,207 for sure. That's coming from the 120-minute time frame chart, upper right. That's next level of support. It's got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Its next level of support will be at 11,207.75. So watch the NQ. It's got the bottom. The question is, can it take out these resistance levels as price tries to move higher? If we look to take a look at the other 60-minute time frame charts out here to see what kind of signals, if any, they have, we'll turn over to those four charts, the ES Mini in the upper left. Well, turns out the ES Mini has a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. That has led to nothing more than a sideways consolidation out here. But the top is present. The NQ has got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, but it's got that TD9 count bottom. So we've already established you get a close below the bar number 8 out there. That says price heads lower. On a 60-minute time frame, its next lower price projection level will be 10,980.50. The Dow Equity Future contract clearly in full swing. The Dow is up 408 points right now. It has a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal that has been triggered. It needs a bearish reversal candle to confirm a top out there. That's what I see when I take a look at its patterns. It also does have, though, and it will confirm a wave number 7. That is letter G on my screen out there. That is a very small portion of the Chapman wave, but price remains above the, this is the Dow Equity Future contract that we're referring to, remains above the top of its profile and its green oscillator and change line. So even though it has a topping signal, conditions are at best or at worst neutral. If we take a look at the Russell 2000, it too has a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. It has led to a sideways move out there. So you've got tops in 2 of the 4, a bottom in 1 of the 4. And in the Dow Equity Future, you actually have a top, so really 3 out of 4. It's just that its top is more of a neutral type signal out there. So that's what's going on when we take a look at the hourly time frame charts. So Stevie, put all this together for me, would you? I'll try to do it this way. The way I'll put it together for you is share with you the 4 most important charts to watch today to assist us with understanding what the market's intent is. And that's these 4 charts. You've got the DAX in the upper left-hand corner. The DAX completed a TD9 count top yesterday. If the DAX closes above 13,203.24, and we're 13,233 right now, it will negate that signal, and that will suggest a strong move to the upside. Now, why is the DAX important? Why did Stevie say, hey, you know what, the DAX is important out there? Well, here's the reason why. We're going to go ahead and switch charts here. We'll go over to my black background charts. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the correlation between the DAX and the NASDAQ composite. So here, the upper portion of the screen is the DAX chart. We just took a look at that on my Ninja Trader chart. Below that is the NASDAQ composite. Those bars below, this is a short term. This is a 5-day average. When bars are above 0, which most of them are, it tells you have a positive directional correlation. We'll finish that thought, but probably you know where I'm going with it as soon as we get back from this break. Steve Rhodes with TFNN.
Teddy Kegstad has just announced a live webinar coming up for subscribers to his newsletter, The Tiger Forex Report. Wednesday, October 26th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Teddy will be hosting a live 60-minute webinar, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report newsletter. In this 60-minute webinar, Teddy will be discussing a full breakdown of the markets that influence currency pairs, as well as applying those variables to individual currency pairs, how to evaluate trading scenarios for risk versus reward, as well as a live question and answer session. Sign up now and gain instant access to this live webinar coming up, as well as a month subscription to Teddy's Tiger Forex Report, which comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Don't miss out on this live webinar event with Teddy Kegstad, Wednesday, October 26th. Sign up now for the Tiger Forex Report at the front page of TFNN.com.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. So we're taking a look at 2 charts out here. One is the DAX. That's up at the top side. Then the NASDAQ Composite below. The DAX yesterday completed a TD9 count. That means that the high formed on the bar following bar number 9, that says yesterday's high, 13,203.24. If price closes above that, it will negate that pattern. So how does that really apply to the NASDAQ Composite? Well, if you look at the directional correlation here, we're just looking to be able to handicap what's going on inside the market, increase our probability. That's really what we're doing in the use of technical analysis and understanding patterns that are out here. So knowing that there is a high probability of a directional correlation between the DAX and the NASDAQ Composite, which has been struggling a bit, both the NASDAQ and the NASDAQ 100 out here, I would say that if price closes above, the DAX that is, 13,203.24. Now, somebody in the den probably knows when the DAX actually closed. I don't know, is it 12:30 or 11:30? I think it's 12:30, but I'm not sure. Just simply my daylight savings time hours and the German DAX hours are off just a bit. But we should know something here within the next couple of hours. And so if price is able to close above that, that's the DAX, 13,203.24. That would seem to indicate that we would expect or anticipate that the NASDAQ, or the NASDAQ 100, 11:30. Thanks, Mark. So we've got about 12 minutes to go here. That the NASDAQ is likely going to have some follow through to the upside. Why is that important? Well, because Apple, I believe, is reporting earnings today at 4:30. And most certainly that can move the market out there. So that's the first element here with regard to why those charts. And we just focused so far on the DAX out there. Let's go back to those charts, the white background charts, to take a look at the other 3. In the case of the other 3 out here, the other 3 that I've posted, I've got the Dow and the Dow Equity Future contract, that is, in the upper right. Now, its key level, it also completed a TD9 count topping pattern yesterday. However, if price closes above that high, which is 32,211, that will negate that signal. That will then suggest that price is going to at least go tackle 32,789. But the signal says, hey, strong momentum move to the upside. So you want to watch today's close. Does the Dow Equity Future contract close above 32,211? If that does, and the DAX closes and negates its TD9 count top out there, well, that's a pretty suggestive move of higher price. And I'll just simply extrapolate out that to Apple and suggest that perhaps that means that Apple is going to trade higher. Now, it may not initially after earnings are released, but we'll have to come back to that tomorrow. And by the way, tomorrow we'll be able to look at that pretty early because I'm going to record tomorrow's show between 8 and 9. So put that on your calendar. Please join me. Tea and crumpets, or, if you like Dunkin' Donuts, then there you go. The ES Mini is also another chart, and the spot volatilics are the other two charts that I have as today's four most important charts for us to monitor to provide us with information. Well, it turns out that today is likely going to complete or confirm a TD9 count top for the ES Mini. The completion will come tomorrow. That would then suggest that price would pull back to its oscillator and change line at a minimum, and that's at about right now the 37.15 level. When we take a look at spot volatilics, which is dealing with the VAX out here, the future, the DAX, the ES Mini, the S&P 500, we can see that the spot volatilics has completed or will complete a TD9 count bottom today. Today will become the bar following bar number 9. So that says the spot volatilics could or should form a bottom. Well, if that forms a bottom and price is going to move higher and we get a confirmed TD9 count top in the ES Mini, that says that we move lower. And if the DAX closes back below 13,203.24 and the Dow closes stay below 32,211, well, then that would be highly suggestive of a top. And that would then say, well, maybe what Apple is going to do is going to be the one that rings that bell and starts to move price lower again. So that's why these four charts are the most important charts, I believe. The question is, will we get a synergistic message based upon their closes out here? And I don't know the answer to that, but if I'm you, I'm not, so I'm me. These are the four charts that I'm looking at to help us try to answer that question out there. So that's my take, Rahul, on the NASDAQ. It's really my take on the general markets out here for what we should be watching and observing out there. Now, the strong move inside the Dow, something for us to really keep into consideration out here. This may be just signaling to us that that global flow of capital has finally made it. It's been in the U.S. It's been in the U.S. dollar, but it is finally now making its move into U.S. equities. And what I'm really referring to there, folks, if we take a look at the global flow of capital, this is a monthly chart. And if we take a look, you'll go back to the high, to the top that formed in 2000. The high that formed in 2000, although referred to as a dot-com bubble, what was really pushing price up was capital fleeing out of Europe and into the U.S. That is exactly what has been going on since the bottom in 2008, 2009, really 2009 bottom inside of the S&P 500. Well, the euro is making a nice little bit of a counter trend move here, but more likely than not, the euro is headed down to 84 cents out there. So capital is going to continue to flee out of Europe. It's going to flee out of Asia. It's going to continue to flee out of anywhere where there's not boots on the ground. And we are the reserve currency. That's why we're seeing people move into, not people, but large institutions. It's so funny. I was thinking last night, you've got these people that they parade on the different shows out there. Ray Dalio is one of those. And for the longest time, that guy is sitting there saying cash is trash. And I just had to look at myself and say, what the heck is he smoking? Because the guy who really got it right, he's here. He's the one that started this company, Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's the one that termed it the King Dollar out there. Or maybe it was Larry Kudlow, or maybe it was the two of them together out there. But it's our guy that really understood that the cash is trash. When the U.S. dollar index, the U.S. dollar is getting more valuable out there. He changed his tune, didn't he? I think he changed his tune like last week or something along those lines out there. So the question is the global flow of capital now taking hold in U.S. equities? And if the answer to that is yes, then we are going to take out the all-time highs inside of the Dow. Over what period of time, I don't know. And that's with everything falling apart in the world. And the reason is because there is that big ball of capital that has to invest somewhere. Has to invest somewhere. And it's going to go to where it believes it's got the most certainty, where at least maybe it can get its money back and hopefully get a return on that money. So wherever the most certainty is. So another reason to watch those four charts out there. The key, though, for the Dow, in order for the Dow to generate that message, even if it negates its TD9 count top. That's not going to do it enough for you or do it enough for me. What the Dow really needs to do is the Dow needs to close above 32,504. It needs to close above the high from September. We haven't had a closing above a high in a prior month out here. We haven't had that. Quite frankly, the last time we had that was back in October, a year ago, of 2021. So that's what would need to occur to then say, hey, you know what? Maybe the capital has arrived for the U.S. equities on the shores of the United States. So we get back from this breakout here. We've got some requests that have come in. One is from Jack Flack. He wants to take a look at CPRX and is looking for an entry point there. So we get back from this break. That's what we'll go take a look at.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So we're taking a look at the chart here for Catalyst Pharmaceuticals, ticker symbols CPRX. This is for Jack Flack inside the Tiger's Den. His question is there an entry point right here and now? Now, if we take a look at the daily, the weekly, and the monthly charts that we have up on our screen here, we might get a different answer than if I simply slide over the 30-minute time frame chart. Now, I'm guessing, this is just a wild, kind of guess out there, a swag, so it could be a silly wild guess. You fill in the A part there. I'm guessing that Jack Flack is a TD9 user out here, because if we take a look at that 30-minute time frame chart, it did complete a TD9 count pattern at 11:30. So basically less than a minute ago. Now, here's the issue you've got with regard. So is this a bottom signal? It absolutely is on a 30-minute time frame. Could you take a entry position in this? Absolutely. Right here, right now, if you want to. And what would you do? You would close it out if price closes below 1372 on a 30-minute basis, because it says there's something else going on. There's some other pattern. Now, another pattern on a 30-minute time frame out here, Jack, would be a target of 1311. But if you're asking me, do we have a bottom? We do. Now, here's the other issue you've got. Prices below the bottom of its bullish structured 30-minute profile out there. So a counter trend move, if that's all that unfolds, would find resistance at $14. So if you do take a long trade and price gets up and tests $14 and rejects it, closes back below $13.92, it's somewhat suspect. Doesn't mean that it's not a bottom. It means that where it found resistance is where it should have on that counter trend move and be somewhat questionable. So now let's go take a look at the longer term charts out there. But on a 30-minute basis, does it have a buy signal? Absolutely. On a daily time frame, what are we looking at out here? Well, on a daily time frame, price is above the top of its profile and above its green oscillator and change line, 1356. Now, Jack, on this set of charts out here, you see the profile that's in place right now. There's actually a new one that is forming or has formed, and it is below price. So its support level is 1360. In fact, I'll just switch over to those charts here. You'll see it. Maybe you just grab a screen capture screenshot of this, and then you'll have that. So you'll see left-hand side, 1360 is where the top of that new profile. Now, when a profile forms below price, it is generally speaking a bullish message out here. But if price closes below 1360, not that it's not a bullish message, it's just a message that price would want to pull back to the 1271 or 1293. So I don't know your time frame that you're looking at from a trade standpoint out here. Watch that 30-minute chart. If you close below the low, it says you head to 1360. 1356 was that green oscillator and change line. You close below that. And then you could get into this around the 1271 to 1293 area out there. I don't see anything else on the other charts out there, so no reason for me to go back to that. So hopefully that helps you out, Jack, and thanks so much for the request. We got another request to take a look at Square. SQ is the ticker symbol out here, so let's get those charts. So SQ, let me get those on the white background charts. We'll go ahead and change screens out here, and while that populates, so that request comes in from ELO, which I love the band Electric Light Orchestra, especially Jeff Lynne. He's an amazing guy, and he was one of the guys. I think it was he and George Harrison that put together the Traveling Wilburys, right? You had Jeff Lynne, you had Roy Orbison, you had Tom Petty, right? He was part of it. He was the original part. George Harrison and Bob Dylan, right? Those were the five guys out there, and Nick Keltner was on the drums. I mean, that's a great band. That's for sure. But in any event, with regard to Square, and I don't recall what the question was. I think the question was, can we look at Square, which we are. So what is Square signaling to us? It's signaling that it's trying to form a small A to B equals C to the upside. If it takes out the B point, which it's doing right now today, the question is it with volume? That B point has volume of 15 million shares. So far today, you've done 4 million in 2 hours of trading. 4 times 3, 12. So it's going to be close or light out there. Doesn't mean, and price is trading above the top of its a bearish structured daily profile. Did it complete the A to B equals C to yesterday? And it may have, because you've got that shooting star. So let's just simply draw in the A to B line. Let's just simply move that over to the C point out here. And so, yeah, yesterday completed a sell the D point pattern inside of Square. Now, if price can close over yesterday's high, it's really the signal is neutral. The signal is neutral because price is above its oscillator and change line above a bearish structured profile. But if price can close above yesterday's high, 62.48, then it's off to the races. Well, where would those races take us to? Well, certainly the prior high out there, and that's from the October 6th time frame, and that'd be at 63.44. And if price can clear 63.44, then we'd be looking to that weekly time frame chart or the daily. The daily TD9 count breakdown area is 71.55, and the weekly is at 76.71. On a monthly time frame, what has Square done? It negated a TD9 count bottom out there. So maybe the move in Square is not done to the downside. Maybe it's going to try to get back to that 42.33 level. Pretty amazing. This thing was up at the 290, almost 300 level out there. But that's what it is. So that's the analysis with regard to Square. ELO, I hope that helps you out. If not, let me know what other piece of information you are looking for. We've got some, we got another request. This came in earlier in the day, and let's get to that request. And that request was to take a look at the GDX and the GDXJ. So let me get those charts up on our screen out here. And if we take a look at and the question was, well, what's the difference between the two? And the difference is pretty significant. One is the junior miners. What you can do is you can go to the Van Eck ETF, and you can download the actual holdings inside both of these. So you can get all the constituents inside the GDX and the GDXJ. And if you do that, you'll see, so for example, number one inside the GDX is Newmont Mining. Newmont Mining, I don't even know if it's in the GDXJ out there. So two different sets of gold miners to look at. Some might be in both out there. If we take a look at the charts out here, you'll see the GDX. Bottom, top, we're looking at the daily and weekly out here. If you take a look at the daily, I formed a nice Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. It does that on the trading session of September 28th, when it created that bull separating line. That's a bullish reversal candle out here. Price right now is really consolidating between support of its profile at 22.38 and resistance, TD9 count breakdown level of 25.43. Now on the GDX, you like the fact that both you've got a bottom pattern on the daily and you have a confirmed bottom on the weekly. The issue is that price has found resistance right at the center of that weekly profile. That level is 25.27. You'd like to see it close above that this week to then suggest a move to 25.66. But 25.43 really is the key level that price must close above. Now, the GDXJ, similar set of patterns, similar, not the same. This has both a TD9 count bottom, the daily that is, a TD9 count bottom, as well as a Rhodes momentum indicator signal. The two bottoms make it stronger? No, it just has two different bottom patterns out there. Right now, price is struggling with the center of its bearish structured daily profile. And that's between the range of 31.32 and 31.73. So Larry, price needs to close above 31.73 to suggest a move to its next TD9 count breakdown area. This is the GDXJ, and that's 34.73. On the weekly time frame chart, nice Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern out there. So all of this looks hunky-dory, doesn't it? I mean, I'd be hard-pressed to say, hey, don't take a trade in the miners. The good news is we're friends with Lee Corso. And Lee Corso would say, not so fast. And why would he say not so fast? We took a look at a correlation between the DAX and the NASDAQ composite. There is certainly a correlation between the miners and gold. And if you take a look at gold, here's the weekly time frame chart. Gold has not closed above this oscillator and change line. It has not been above that since April of 2022, 6 months. So in order for the GDX and the GDXJ to really get some momentum to the upside, gold must close above its oscillator and change line on a weekly time frame, and that's 1684. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go to our first caller. It is John in Philly. John, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you doing on Terrific Thursday?
It is a terrific Thursday, Steve. Thanks for taking the call, and I'm doing well. Glad to hear you're doing the same. And, Steve, I'd like to ask you about crude oil, please.
Yes, go right ahead.
First and foremost, I'll just mention I am long. Of course, you already know that. Crude oil hit a bottom. My suspicion is it's an intermediate-term bear market bottom back on September 26th. Had a good, strong rally into October 10th or so from, I think it was like 76 up to 93. And the news that occurred was that OPEC Plus would not postpone cutting supplies, production. They chose to do so according to their terms. We got the rally. We had a pullback into, I guess it was just, when was it? I'm looking at the wrong chart. Well, back and now we're heading higher. My question, Steve, could you please share with us, at least according to your work, where the key levels this rally needs to surpass to extend, and what levels to look out for potential short-term highs and short-term pullbacks? That'd be my question, please.
Perfect. Okay, so based upon the set of charts that we have up on our screen here, the intraday chart specifically is what I'm focusing on. That short-term top may be here, right now. And when I take a look at the 5-hour time frame chart, I know that's a time frame that you like to look at as well. This completed a TD9 count top at 9 o'clock this morning. That high out there is at 89.25. So that's the first number that if the bull market is going to continue, if price is going to continue to move higher, you'd like to see price close above that. Certainly at 2 p.m. when that next bar finishes. It doesn't have to be 2 p.m., but you'd certainly like to see price close above that. Now, even though it has a TD9 count top, its signal is neutral, John. And the reason it's neutral is because price is trading above the 5-hour bearish structured profile and above its green oscillator and change line. So does it have a top? Yes. Is it one that has gotten traction? No, and the signal is neutral. But a close above that high, that would first, to me, suggest higher price. Any questions about the 5-hour chart?
Got that. So far, so good. Thank you.
Perfect. So now as I look at the other time frames out there, I see a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top on the 2-hour chart. Turns out, and that was a shooting star and a wave number 7 pattern that I've got out there is two potential tops. But price is also above the top of its profile and its green oscillator and change line. So does it have a topping pattern? Absolutely. What's the overall message? Neutral. If I look at the hourly chart as we speak right now, well, it has already confirmed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Again, price is above a green oscillator and change line at the top of its profile. Its signals are neutral. The 30-minute chart has a TD9 count top, and price right now is it's consolidating with inside its profile. If it closes at 12 p.m. below 89.17, that could be suggestive of a move or a retracement back to the 88.11 or 88.50 area out there. And a 15 to 10-minute chart, we won't spend any time on those. Those also have some topping signals. So there is the potential for a short-term top or some type of top out there. But the larger time frames still are somewhat neutral, and I'd be watching that high. I would just simply put it down at least to the high of 89.25. Now, if price does close above that, John, then your next area of resistance is going to be at $90.94. And that's from the daily time frame, and that's what I have on my white background charts and Ninja Trader charts as its TAS market profile. And if price can close above that, then there's one other level. So as you identified very clearly that this bottomed back in September. When it bottomed in September on the 27th, it was a TD9 count bottom that formed there. When this topped in October 10th, there was a TD9 count top that confirmed on October the 11th. As you pointed out, price pulled back, and it may have been the Saudi decision that says, hey, we're not going to reduce our production out here, because I don't have a reason, or I don't have a pattern, I should say, why price stopped where it did in the daily time frame. But doesn't matter. We're inside that profile. And if that those short-term tops that you and I just looked at, if you can get price above that, then 90.94 would be a target. And then what really needs to happen is price has to take out. That means close above the high of that TD9 count top, and that would be at 92.34. That's another area of a potential battle. But if price closes above that, John, then you have an A to B equals CD to the upside most likely. Any questions about those charts or those thoughts or anything else that you'd like to share? Or how can I be of further
question,
assistance?
Steve, does that weekly chart of yours, your white background weekly chart, show you anything of interest looking a bit further out in time?
So let's change this from a daily to a weekly. What's not going to change on this is still going to show the daily oscillator and change line. The weekly chart here, John, shows me that price is between profiles, and if price can close above 91.58, that would be a bullish message that you're looking for. Does that help with the weekly?
Exactly. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Hey, John, always good to hear from you. So have a terrific Thursday. Thanks so much for the call, and the best of luck to you on your light sweet crude trade.
Enjoy your weekend. Thanks, Steve. Bye.
You bet. That was John in Philly, and they got a game tomorrow, don't they? So let's go to a couple questions that have come in here by email. Looks like we've got 4. See if we can get to them all. Alton says, hey, Steve, if you could, where do you see platinum heading next? Thanks. Have a great day. So let's pull over. I've got the daily platinum chart out here. Alton, if it's okay with you, we'll just focus on the daily chart. And we take a look at platinum. Platinum right now is trading above its TD9 count breakdown area. That was at 942.10. It did that yesterday with a wide-ranging bar. That's a bullish signal. It's dealing with resistance, and it's a bearish engulfing candle, TD9 count top, Alton, from August the 11th. And price will need to close above that high, which is 975.50. So that 975.50 is really where your next battle is at. And if price can close above that, then that suggests that platinum will try to make a run for its highs from back in June, and that's up in the 1036-ish type area. So with regard to your question was, where do you see platinum heading next? If I see it heading to that TD9 count top, that's at 975.50, and if price can take that out, then it's back to that 1036 area. So, Alton, thanks so much for the request. I hope that helps you out, and have a terrific Thursday as well. Next question by email coming in from Tim M. And Tim says, can we take a look at Shockwave? So we can. We're going to change panels out here. Let's go to our 3 time frame charts out there. And the ticker symbol for Shockwave is HH. S, how about S? That's good, Stevie. SWAV, the swabby one out there. So Tim's question goes, as you are aptly stated, Shockwave, swab, is getting a shock today. Could you please find an entry for a long position on a daily or weekly time frame? So absolutely. So Shockwave here right now was pulling back and testing the bottom of its daily profile. And that's an area you'd like to see hold as support. That would be at 272.99. So that's a potential level of support for an entry area. Another area would be 261.21. That is its TD9 count breakout level. That's a daily time frame. The weekly shows that the pullback today or at least this week. That would be today, I believe. It's Thursday, actually, would have been Monday. Well, no, today's a lower low. Was testing the bottom of its weekly profile. So we get back from this break. The last thing for us to do for Tim is go look at that 30-minute time frame chart, which is what we'll do as soon as we return.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
So we were taking a look at that Shockwave SWABI 1, SWAV is a ticker symbol. We saw the price tested support of the daily and weekly profile levels on its pullback this morning, and it's formed a 30-minute TD9 count bottom. So the answer, you're looking for an entry point, you've got it now. What I would do is I would close that out if I saw a close below bar number 9 on this 30-minute time frame chart, and that is at 265.57. So, Tim, thanks much for writing in. I hope that analysis assists you, and best of luck to you with whatever decision it is you make. Hector writes in, and Hector wants to take a look at the big cat. The big cat Caterpillar, that's up today nicely. That's up $16 or 8%. Hector's question is, Caterpillar on an ABC weekly up projection, please. Any thoughts on what is a commodities super cycle? So I don't have a lot of time here. Let's take a look at Caterpillar. Now, Caterpillar today, with that big move higher, is going to generate bar number 9 of a TD9 count. And what that says is that the pattern will complete tomorrow. That suggests that we should see a short-term top inside of Caterpillar. I cannot draw in an A to B equals CD to the upside on a weekly basis. Why? It hasn't had a pullback. So we've come off of the lows out here from September 30th. Other than a gigantic A to B equals CD, which would take us back, to the lows in May. And I'm not really going to draw that in there because price would need to close above the top out here from June for that to happen. But there's no intra-weekly A to B equals CD up pattern. But I would say this, if you're in Caterpillar, watch out. Not that it's going to pull back, but you should see some type of retracement out here that begins today or tomorrow. Really, would be between today and Monday. The TD9 count pattern will complete come tomorrow. The last question, let's see if we can get this in. It's for ExxonMobil. It's for Mimi. And the question here for Mimi is please comment on ExxonMobil. Let's go see what the charts say. But I would say stay with it. Stay with this trade. The price of crude oil is going to continue to move higher. Well, I tell you what, you have a TD9 count top that is being negated. It'll be negated today inside of ExxonMobil with a close above 107.83. And maybe, on a monthly basis, you're negating potentially a TD9 count top. Stay with ExxonMobil. Folks, stay tuned. You've got some great programming up next. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Remember, we're going to record the show between 8 and 9. That means we'll be live on the air at about 8:08 in the morning. Please join me then. Have a terrific Thursday. Be safe out there. Thanks for joining us today.